You are watching the Capital City Sports Network on SGTV.
St. Patrick's Day is come and gone, but for South Carolina Club Baseball, the season marches on, and Sandstorm blares here tonight at Heathwood Hall as the Gamecocks welcome a conference rival for a key series here in the middle of the season. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Heathwood Hall Episcopal School in the shadows of Williams-Brice Stadium here in Columbia for tonight's NCBA matchup featuring the visiting Georgia Bulldogs and your South Carolina Gamecocks. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. You can't see us, but we're still here with you. I'm Brett Williams alongside Ben Parsons. Thank you so much for being with us here tonight on the Capital City Sports Network. South Carolina comes into this game 5-4 on the season. They are 3-3 in conference play, which is the Eastern Conference of the South Atlantic region of the NCBA. We'll break all that down for you as tonight goes on. Georgia comes in with an identical record of 5-4. However, they are 2-1 in conference. This is only their second series in conference play. Well, Ben, normally when we talk to you folks at home, we're talking about teams that don't have a varsity equivalent in South Carolina, hockey and lacrosse, obviously, but tonight, certainly not the case. A great program on the varsity side for the Gamecocks, but club baseball, a great atmosphere here, too.
Exactly, Brett. I mean, both these teams love playing each other no matter what capacity it is, so they're just fun to watch, and we're ready to get started.
That we are indeed. Richie Matone is on the hill for the Gamecocks. First pitch is just a little high. 1 ball, no strikes, and we are underway, South Carolina and Georgia on the Capital City Sports Network. This is left fielder Trey Walters, batting from the right-handed batter's box for Georgia. Strike one now issued by Matone on the outside corner. Let's go ahead and take a look at Georgia's starting lineup. Again, this is Trey Walters batting first. Batting second will be the shortstop Austin Sanders. Batting third, the first baseman Mike Dolak, as this one fouled back right into the backstop in front of us. Batting cleanup tonight for the Bulldogs will be second baseman James Casanova. Player coach and catcher Caleb Autry will be batting fifth. In the sixth spot, the designated hitter Richard Mosley. Batting seventh is the third baseman Brad Leathers. Batting eighth, the right fielder Noe Garcia. And rounding things off at the bottom of the order is center fielder Greg Hennessy. Matone will step back for a moment as Walters also comes out of the box. And Matone alongside catcher Chris Bender will have an early meeting.
All right, and this opens up the Gamecocks from the defensive side of the field. From right to left, we have McCurry in right field. We have Chris Murphy in center. And the Gamecocks have James Selikoff in right. At first base, we have Estes at first, Janish at second, Bernstein at short, and at third base, we have Alfieri. And the battery is Ricky Matone and Chris Bender.
So Matone and Bender have finished their meeting here. Next pitch, the at-bat. This one fouled off right side way high. Long run for Ian Estes, but that one's going to be off the top of the fence, I believe, and out of play. Again, we are at Heathwood Hall Episcopal School. That is just a couple of miles south of Williams-Brice Stadium down Bluff Road. In fact, if you turn around here at the press box, you can see it over in the distance, and it's a beautiful sight at the nighttime for sure.
Without a doubt, it's one of the best things on campus we have.
No question there. Tone sends this one. This is going to be chopped to second. Joey Janusz slides to his left, makes the play, fires it over to first 4-3 for the first out of the ball game.
That's a good way to start the game for Matone, just to get an easy out like that.
So in steps Austin Sanders. Bulldogs shortstop.
Yeah, we're not using that.
Brief sound glitch on the PA system here. Sanders steps in from the left side to face Richie Matone. Set up is down and out, and it comes high and outside, ball one. Matone's record this year, he has no record, in fact. This is his third start, however. Has allowed 7 runs, 3 of them earned. Struck out 14 while walking 13, but a pretty respectable 2.25 ERA.
And the big thing for him is he's pitched 12 innings so far, so he has experience this year.
Yeah, honestly, at the club level, you do see a lot of guys that will be out after 3-4 innings. Brandon Baggett, one of the folks on the Gamecocks time, has only pitched 3 1/3 innings through 2 games, just something that happens sometimes. So expect a lot of folks, a lot of calls to the bullpen here tonight for both sides. This one from Matone goes right down the middle for strike one. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, nobody on, no score here, top of the first, Georgia and South Carolina.
Matone's struggled at times so far this year to find the strike zone, so I'm thinking if he finds the strike zone tonight, he'll be in good shape.
Just missed that one inside. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Gets his sign from Bender, looks in, kicks and deals. That one's going to just miss high and outside. And that will be ball 4. Austin Sanders takes his base.
Not the start he'd like, but he can still work his way out of the jam if he just can find the strike zone and have good location right here.
And, of course, the double play ball in play as well. This is first baseman Mike Dolak, another lefty stepping in to face the righty Matone. And Matone will work from the stretch with the runner on first. Gamecocks are in the home whites tonight with the garnet numbers, garnet pinstripes down the legs. Georgia comes in with the black jerseys, the white pants, and the red numbers. Once again from the stretch, Matone deals. That one's high and outside again. No advancement, though, from the runner at first, Austin Sanders. 2-0 the count here on Dolak. The look, the nod, and the fire in. This was going to get away from Bender. That's going to allow the runner to advance to second. He's thinking about turning and going 3, and he does go indeed. Bender will hustle to it at the backstop, fire it down to third, but not nearly in time as Sanders advances to third, standing up. And just like that, Georgia's got a runner 90 feet away from home.
Like we discussed earlier, he's already having location problems. Matone's really going to need to settle down if he's going to hope to get out of multiple innings this outing.
That's going to be a wild pitch charge to Matone. 3 balls and no strikes now on Dolak, and you imagine he's taken all the way here. Bender sets up right down the middle. Matone hits his spot. So this at-bat will continue. 3 balls, 1 strike. No score, runner on third here for Georgia. 1 out, top of the first. Slow chopper to the mound. Matone slips for a moment. Now coming up and trying to make the play was Max Bernstein. He was able to barehand it, but it took so long to get to him. He had no play. Runners on the corners now for the Bulldogs.
One of those excuse me almost swings that just finds a hole in the infield that gets a infield single.
And now it'll be the cleanup hitter James Casanova stepping in.
Talk about a last name, Casanova.
True. Trying to create one of those on the field tonight. Number 29 stands tall in the right-handed batter's box. You can see the weight very far back on his right foot. Matone from the stretch, first pitch. Tried to paint the zone, topping out, but
with an
ended up a little bit too far.
pitch, it looked like too. Good to keep him guessing in the plate, not to always start fastball low. Oh,
that one is skied high left field. Turning and looking back, James Selikoff, you will watch that go. Is it fair? It is not. A foul ball, and the Gamecocks dodge a big bullet. That looked like a 3-run shot right from home plate. It was not, however.
That he creamed that ball.
That he did, Ben. That one's looking like it was heading for I-77. Just ended up on the wrong lane. 1 ball, 1 strike to count here on Casanova, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's see if Matone can settle in. Oh, maybe not.
Zone evidently taking too long. Casanova just decided to step out. Now comes set. Bender setting up low and outside. That one comes high and in, and ducking away from it was Casanova. He's now ahead in the count 2-1.
What?
Oh. The 2-1 pitch here, or just barely stays high. Thought that was going to sink into the zone.
I mean, it's hard to call those borderline pitches for strikes as the umpire, as Matone's been wild so far in this outing.
This one chopped hard and foul again. Just went over the foul line before it got to third. Casanova really feeling the base hit the left.
Casanova's just having a great at-bat right now. He's seen the zone well, and he's fouling off pitches that are just there.
Runners on the corners, 1 out, no score. Georgia threatening here in the top of the first. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Matone gets his sign, comes set. Kicking the deal here, and sets up. Yeah, take that back. There was evidently a full count pitch. Apologize for that. And that will load the bases here for Caleb Autry.
Not the start that you would want as a pitcher, but with just 1 pitch, he can get out of it. So, I mean, let's see what happens here.
And already, that is Garrett Semick, one of the coaches for the Gamecocks. All of these are player coaches. Miles Moody, the head coach, Garrett Semick, the assistant coach. Both of them are players on the team. And for Georgia as well, Caleb Autry, as we mentioned, who is stepping into the batter's box as we speak, is Georgia's coach as well.
That's one thing that's very interesting about club baseball, because they all get to play, so it's kind of an interesting concept as one of your teammates is also in charge of the team.
And you got to really give it credit to these programs, student-run, that are very, very legitimate programs.
Yeah.
Everything from the scheduling, the conferencing, to the jerseys, to the venues. I mean, obviously got a lot of fans here tonight even. Some Georgia fans have made the trip.
Yeah.
I saw a few Bulldog towels over there.
It's a lot of stuff that they all have to put together, and every season these teams make it work.
Creates a lot of good times, a lot of good experience for these players. And now Caleb Autry going to try to do some damage against Richie Matone, who comes at him and deals a strike on the lower edge of the zone. Now Bender sets up low and outside. Big swing and a miss. Kind of jammed him in on the hands, and quickly Matone is ahead of Autry, 0-2.
Definitely a good response from Matone after the meeting from the coach.
No balls, 2 strikes, bases loaded. No score here, top of the first. Matone gets Autry to go down swinging. And that's exactly how you respond. A strikeout on 3 straight pitches, and now there are 2 outs.
Yeah, I bet the coach told him just pitch your game and don't worry about anybody on the field. Just sit back and throw your stuff, and once you trust your stuff, that's all that matters as a pitcher.
That'll bring up the designated hitter for Georgia, Richard Mosley, setting up very close on the plate, and he almost forced Matone's hand there as he throws outside for ball 1. See how Matone is able to counteract this. Try to jam him inside corner. Be tough to swing around on. This one's going to drop low. Good block by Bender, but now 2-0 here with the bases loaded.
One thing's for sure is Matone's already thrown a decent amount of pitches in this inning, and as a pitcher, you want to limit that so you can go deeper into games.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. This one's going to be sent toward third. This will get through into left field. 1 run will score. Next runner coming around. The throw comes from the left fielder, James Selikoff, not in time. And Richard Mosley delivers for the Bulldogs. They lead it 2-0.
That ball just found the perfect spot in the infield. Like he hit it right between third and short, and both defenders dove and still couldn't get it.
Just one of those gappers. That's what you seek for as a baseball player, and it worked out. Yeah, Mosley doing his job.
Yeah, you don't always have to. One thing baseball coaches preach all the time is you don't always have to hammer the ball. All you got to get is good contact, and Mosley sure did it right there.
First pitch here from Matone is high. This is Brad Leathers. Great name for a baseball player, if I do say so myself.
That's the second good name. We have Casanova and Leathers in this game. Ooh.
Is there a lumber?
Maybe.
It's all about lumber and leather in this game.
I'm just hoping he makes a great defensive play later in the game.
Yeah, see, you just got leather on the brain.
Yep.
This first pitch settles on the outside corner for strike 1. Thought that may have missed a bit outside, but they give Matone the benefit of the doubt. So 1 ball and 1 strike here. 2-0 Georgia with runners on first and second and 2 outs still in the top of the first.
I'm sure Matone appreciates that benefit of the doubt, though.
Absolutely. And that one almost the exact same spot, but they call it a ball. In a situation like this, you'll take whatever call you can get and just try to work from there.
Mm-hmm. Just about making one more pitch to get out of the inning and just see what the offense can put on the board for you.
Oh. That one is chopped just foul, as it was fielded by Nick Alfieri, sliding to his right into foul territory. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Certainly the foul ball Matone needed to get back in this at-bat.
The big thing here for Matone is to keep on attacking the strike zone. He's been trying to paint the corners of late, and that's where it's been giving him trouble.
That's exactly what he did against Caleb Autry to get that strikeout 2 batters ago.
Yeah, 3 pitches, that was, right?
That it was. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 men on. Now he steps off and looks towards second. Nobody was covering, so Casanova will stay there. Looks in, checks second again. Now Matone comes home. This one sent towards center. On the hop, hustling in Chris Murphy. He has to let it drop. He will field it on 1 hop, but another run will score. James Casanova hustling all the way around from second, and the Bulldogs now lead it 3-0.
It looked like Murphy didn't get a great read on that ball at the beginning because he saw it go up and then he just hesitated for a second, and then by that point the ball was already on the ground.
There's the 3rd hit of the game already for Georgia. 1 infield single and 2 singles that made it to the grass.
And 2 walks so far, right?
That is correct. So same position here with 2 runners on and still 2 outs, but of course a 3-0 lead now for Georgia. This is Noe Garcia, the right fielder, and the 8th man in the lineup, all to come to bat here in the top half of the 1st inning. Matone trying to end this, and he misses here low and outside.
Yeah, I'm sure Matone didn't expect to be this far down in the order in just the 1st inning.
Just a matter of where do you go from here. Check second one more time. Ends up almost hitting Garcia as he ducked back out of the batter's box there.
That's always a scary moment as a batter when you're sitting there and there's a high fastball coming for your head.
See those times, I think about Sammy Sosa's infamous time where he actually hit him in the head and the batting helmet just split. And thankfully he was okay. Matone deals this one here and misses low. That'll be ball 4, and Garcia heads to first. So the entire batting order will come around to bat here in the 1st for Georgia. And certainly Matone not out of trouble here, trying to limit the damage, and he'll need to get Hennessy out to do that.
And another lefty Hennessy is. So that's what, 4, I think, so far?
I believe you're right. Greg Hennessy also sets up pretty close to the plate. That one's right down the pipe for strike 1.
Hennessy's probably one of the smallest batters they have, and Matone's been wild so far, but he painted that corner right there.
Forces him to foul this one off left side over the Georgia dugout. That was a sound effect. There were no cars. His windshield just got shattered, thankfully.
Thanks, Spencer Lee, for that.
My job.
Spencer Lee, our fellow SGTV staff member, running the public address system here tonight.
Trying to scare us.
He's been on a few of our broadcasts before. This one's going to be hit towards second. Joey Janusz loses it, kind of bobbles it, and he will not be able to make a play.
Not what you want right there if you're the pitcher. Matone got the pitch, he got the result that he wanted, and the second baseman just couldn't make the play.
E4 charge to Janusz. And that is exactly what Georgia wanted, exactly what South Carolina could not afford, as another run scores. 4-0 Bulldogs. Already have some activity going on in the South Carolina bullpen. It is 4-0 Bulldogs. We are still not out of the 1st inning.
The fans are not even cheering that loud anymore for the Gamecocks. This is just a little hard to watch. It wasn't what they were expecting.
This one hit high and deep left center. Actually, check that, not too deep. Coming in and making the play is Chris Murphy. He will catch it, and that will do it. But not before Georgia scores 4 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, and 3 men left on base. 4-0 Bulldogs. We will take a short break. When we come back, the Gamecocks' first time to bat when we return on the Capital City Sports Network. Welcome back to Heathwood Hall, everybody. We go to the bottom of the first, and the Gamecocks' first time at bat. It will be designated hitter Nick Burgos stepping in from the left side. Looking at the rest of the Gamecocks' batting order. Batting second will be catcher Chris Bender. In the 3 spot, the second baseman Joey Janusz. Batting cleanup is the first baseman Ian Estes. Then will come up the right fielder Evan McCurry, the left fielder James Selikoff, and the center fielder Chris Murphy. So the outfield going 5, 6, 7 in the Gamecocks order. Batting eighth is the third baseman Nick Alfieris, and rounding things out at the bottom of the order, the shortstop, Max Bernstein. Southpaw Josh Lee pitches the first pitch of his night tonight, and it is a strike on the outside corner to Nick Burgos. Burgos fouls this one back. Kind of a line shot, ended up in the trees behind us at the press box. Burgos comes in batting .333 on the season. Yet to hit a home run. In fact, James Konopinski, the only player for the Gamecocks who has a long ball this year. And also 1 RBI for Burgos as well. Misses low here. 1-2 pitch coming up to Burgos. That one dropped, nasty sinker there, almost hit the zone.
That ball had some movement. Burgos just dropped out of the batter's box, and next thing you know, that almost caught the inside corner.
2-2 here, and they dial him up.
Lee sets him down. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, from right to left, Georgia has Noe Garcia in right, Greg Hennessy in center, Trey Walters in left, and then at third base they have Brad Leathers, who could flash a leather, Austin Sanders at shortstop, James Casanova at second, and Mike Dolak at first base, and Caleb Autry, the coach, behind the plate.
So far, Josh Lee has shown a pretty nice arsenal, even though only 1 at-bat that he's had to deal with, but did a very nice job of freezing Burgos and comes back quickly ahead here, 0-1 on Chris Bender. Bender, again, a quick foul ball, comes right above our heads here, and once again, Lee is ahead 0-2.
Yeah, Lee seems to be working very quickly and attacking the strike zone, and that's what you want from a starter when you're already up 4-0 in the ball game.
A long wait that Lee had to have to even get to this point. And this one's going to be chopped toward first. It will be fair. Snagged by Mike Dolak, and he just comes and takes it himself for out number 2.
Yo, B, they ready. Let's go.
So 2 away here very quickly for the Gamecocks. Joey Janusz comes up here.
I'm feeling myself.
Janusz batting .250 this year. No homers, 3 RBIs.
Only 1 extra base hit on the season so far.
That one will be on a 2-hopper to second. James Casanova sliding to his left, grabs it, fires to first, and the Gamecocks, after giving up 4 runs in the top of the first, they go down in order 1, 2, 3. Not the start the Gamecock fans were hoping for. No runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. 4-0 Georgia. We're through 1. Join us back in Heathwood in just a moment. We go to the second inning. Georgia leading South Carolina 4-0 after 10 men came around to bat in the first inning. It'll be the two-hitter Austin Sanders leading off in the second to face Richie Matone, who, despite the activity going on in the Gamecocks bullpen in the first, he will come out to pitch a second inning. And you got to imagine, Ben, that this is a vote of confidence in a pitcher. You certainly don't want to have that rattled early in the game.
Exactly. There's no reason for it not to take him out at this point because you're already down 4-0, and at least this time, hopefully this time he can settle in.
Yeah, the first pitch was not what he wanted there. That was low and bounced away from Chris Bender. Sanders walked his first time up, advanced to second, actually advanced to third on a wild pitch, and eventually came around to score. Matone winds and delivers low again as Bender got down to block it. 2 balls and no strikes.
It'll definitely be interesting to see how Matone responds after giving up 4 in the first inning.
Sanders kind of brushes the brim of his helmet there, almost like you see with a hat. Haven't seen that too many times with the helmet side. That'll be a strike there in the lower part of the zone, 2-1.
It's probably one of those things that a batter just does to get him rhythm in the plate or make him feel comfortable. Like some people have that bat flip or bat like all the way back motion, like Nomar Garcia-Parra.
Very true. In fact, that's exactly what Sanders does once again here.
Hey, it worked for him. I mean, just like that, another walk. That's his 4th walk of the night already?
Yeah, it is. And 2 walks already for Sanders. So in comes Mike Dolak. Had an infield single his first time up. This was a short dribbler, too short.
Oh.
Sends this one high and deep right field. Going back is Evan McCurry, trying to play it at the wall, and he's got it. McCurry for the out, trying to double him up. A quick throw to first. Ian Estes blocked it to the right side, but a great play there by McCurry, and no advancement there as the runner at first, Sanders, was taken off and eventually had to hustle back.
McCurry saw that ball the whole way and definitely tracked it well and rushed the throw back to the infield to make sure the runner didn't even think about advancing.
In a situation like this with your pitcher struggling, that's what you got to do as a position player, make a play.
And they didn't get that last inning with the error by Janusz, so this inning hopefully is going to be a better result for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, that error by Janusz cost them 1 run. Here comes James Casanova, who also scored one of the runs in the first. He also walked. Throw down to first. Estes was not on first. He was in pretty much the normal spot that a first baseman would play, and the runner Sanders behind him was hustling back to the bag. Was not in a position to apply the tag, but now the runner going here. Bender fires down. That one's going to go over the second baseman's head. Now blocked barely by Max Bernstein. Nice job covering, even though he ended up hitting the grass himself. He got his glove on the ball and was able to block it there and keep the runner from advancing further than second.
It wasn't the best slide, though, from Sanders. He overslid on the base. If that throw would have been on target, he probably would have been out. He was definitely there in time, but just that extra foot in his slide would have cost him the base.
Matone comes home here. Will miss low and outside. 4-0 Georgia here. 1 out in the second with a runner on second.
Yeah, Casanova had a great at-bat last time. I think he drew a walk in his first at-bat as well, or not as well, but in his first at-bat. And he was getting good wood on the ball, so he's definitely pitching him close here.
That'll be a strike inside, and Casanova knew it. He was shaking his head as he walked out of the batter's box. A little bit of a nice dip on that pitch from Matone.
Something we haven't seen so far. And
looking over at second, now coming home. That one sunk inside the strike zone for another nice strike.
I think you should keep throwing that pitch. How about you?
I mean, absolutely. If it worked for you twice, go for it 3 times. You have to move the barrel of the bat up to be able to make contact with a pitch like that. Let's see what Matone has.
Ooh.
Same motion, but misses low and outside, and that's ball 4, walk number 5.
Not the start, not what you want in the first 2 innings of a ball game, 5 walks. And obviously, those come back to haunt you as a pitcher, just like that old saying, like a leadoff walk, like what we had earlier. That always comes back to haunt you. It's not what you want.
Now, Caleb Autry, he had not the first at-bat he wanted with 3 strikes on 3 pitches. Certainly Matone's best at-bat of the night from the mound. And he will miss this one high. Ball 1 to Autry.
Finally gets to see a ball, I guess.
He'll take it.
Number 99. J.J. Watt's number.
Yeah, you don't really think of a baseball player with a 99.
Taiwan Walker.
Taiwan Walker, says our producer John Dowdy.
When he got traded from Seattle to Arizona.
Look, John Dowdy made a baseball reference that didn't talk about a player who was on the Red Sox. Or Nationals.
Yeah, let's bring John Dowdy on for a moment to see if he'd like to continue to comment on this particular chain.
So Benny, I have I have my obscure teams that I follow. Like in the NHL, I'm a Caps fan by trade. Then I'm an Oilers fan just on the side. When it comes to baseball, I'm a Boston and Nationals fan, as that ball is in the dirt. My oddball team in the MLB is the Seattle Mariners.
Why? They trade all their players away.
Exactly. No, Danny Holtzen came out of University of Virginia. I think he was in the 2011 draft class. He was their number 2 prospect for the longest time and never saw, the big leagues. He burned through Single A. I think that's High Desert. He burned through Double A Jackson. Got to Triple A Tacoma, and then had shoulder problems. He was a lefty, had rotator cuff problems, had multiple surgeries, and just never made it out. I think he's since retired. And as that ball is in for a strike, Ty Walker was, a fellow pitcher to Danny Holtzen, also highly touted in the Mariners organization, and he wore like 40-something for Seattle. But when he was sent to Arizona, he picked up 99.
As there's another walk, so that's 6 walks so far.
And 99 just got walked, so apropos. Brett, I'm going to give this back to you.
Thank you so much, John. A nice foray into the Seattle Mariners organization. And I got to say,
of course, it was a UVA prospect, too.
Exactly. UVA, John is our resident Charlottesville native, so supports the Cavaliers, who are about to play the Florida Gators in the second round of the men's basketball tournament. Tip-off coming in, I believe, 18 minutes on TNT.
That'll be a great game. Not to talk about basketball during a baseball broadcast, but UVA's defense versus that offense that can score for Florida. Ooh.
Home cooking for the Gators. That game's in Orlando. Should be very interesting. We will certainly be talking about basketball as this goes on with the Gamecocks and the way that is going for them. Historic season so far for the Gamecocks. But right now, the base is loaded here for Georgia as they already lead at 4-0. Matone trying to get out of this jam. Again, after issuing 3 walks this inning, just after doing the same in the first. Richard Mosley, the designated hitter, who had a 2 RBI single to left the last time he was up. He fouls this one off right side and out of play over by the cars here at Heathwood.
Let's hope it didn't hit John's car, else he's going to get real mad.
That did not. John was smart to park over underneath the trees.
Ooh.
Big swing and a big miss here from Mosley. And Matone's going to sit him down. What a big strikeout at a big time.
That was a nasty off-speed pitch. That's, his second strikeout of the game? So
it is.
He's making that walk to strikeout ratio a little bit better now. 3 walks now to 1 strikeout.
You got to start building up however you can. So here comes Brad Leathers. Single to center his last time up. Picked up an RBI in doing so. First pitch from Matone. It hits the inside corner. This umpire is a little bit slow on his strike, unleashes the right arm in that way that they do. Takes his time with that, so sometimes it's a little bit hard to tell what his original call is. That's going to be
a ball. A strike. Wow.
Case in point.
That's like the most annoying thing as a batter. Like, I mean, you just can't, like, if it's called, like, on the corner and then, like, 3 seconds later they go strike, you're like, no.
Next pitch from Matone, line drive, it's fair. And that one's going to be trouble for the Gamecocks. 1 run, 2 runs will easily score here for Georgia. James Selikoff over on the foul line will grab it, fire it into Alfieris. But Brad Leathers brings the lumber, and that's 2 more runs for Georgia. It is 6-0 Bulldogs.
Leathers and lumber, I see what you did there, Brett.
I try. So once again, for the second straight inning, Richie Matone gets a big strikeout and then gives up a big hit right afterward, and that cost the team 2 runs.
And another meeting of the coach at the mound.
We're going to go ahead and step aside for just a moment. Georgia leads 6-0 when we come back. The Gamecocks still trying to get out of this jam in the second on the Capital City Sports Network. Welcome back to Heathwood Hall, everybody. Brett Williams and Ben Parsons here with you. Thanks for being with us. Georgia leading South Carolina 6-0 in this opening game of a 3-game weekend series. These two teams will play a 7-inning doubleheader starting tomorrow at noon. A full 9 innings here tonight to open up this series. And thus far it has been all Georgia and very quickly, as Georgia's still trying to add on to these runs here in the second. This one popped up right side. Could be in play for SD's. No, it bounces off the top of the Gamecocks dugout.
That sound effect that Spencer has for a foul ball is just scary.
You know, it adds to the atmosphere. That's what we're all about. We're trying to create that for you at home. Spencer's trying to create it for the folks here at Heathwood, and he's doing a good job of it.
Oh, without a doubt. It's just every time I hear it, it's just like, oh, what am I supposed to talk about?
Yeah, it definitely makes it a little bit trickier on the broadcasting side, but
Did he call a balk on that pitch? And that'll score the 7th run of the ball game so far. And just like that, he is out of here, it seems like.
rough night for Richie Matone, and that will do it for him. So we are going to step aside once more here, and when we get back, we will tell you all about the new pitcher for the Gamecocks. South Carolina down 7-0 when we come back.
I believe it's
New pitcher on the hill for South Carolina is Brandon Baggett. This is his 3rd game he's played in. He has started the previous 2. His first time coming in relief. Has allowed 8 hits, has struck out 3 while walking 10, and allowed 12 runs, 11 of those earned.
So he has an astronomical ERA of 29.70.
That is not what you want, for sure. And the first pitch ends up in the dirt outside.
But look on the bright side. Here's a place where he can come in, get a few innings, and hopefully get that average down low.
Exactly. A little bit of pressure off tonight and forces a swing here from Noe Garcia. That one was outside, but Garcia offered, so Baggett will take it. It's 1 ball and 1 strike here. Lefty-righty matchup favors the batter Garcia.
I mean, there shouldn't be any pressure on him. It's already 7-0 at this point. He can't really mess up the game any more than it's already messed up. Well, in this inning.
Fair enough. Looks in for a moment. The setup is just on the lower side of things, and it comes inside, gets away from Chris Bender, and the runner will score from third. Brad Leathers comes on in as Bender did not have a chance. The ball got too far back, a very deep backstop here at Heathwood. So a wild pitch really will cause some problems for the defense, as it does here for South Carolina, 8-0 Georgia.
I don't know if that was a wild pitch or a pass ball, because it wasn't that far inside. And the ball did touch the glove of the catcher. I think they just weren't on the same page, and
Bender.
And Bender just missed it. Ooh!
Good job there by Greg Hennessy, or excuse me, this is still Noe Garcia, jumping back out of the batter's box to dodge that pitch. The pass ball brings home Leathers. And this one will miss outside. Garcia will take his base. And the first at-bat of the night.
That is 7 walks for the Gamecocks pitching staff so far. Not what you want to see at all.
There are 2 outs here in the second. Runner on first here, and now through 2 innings, the entire batting order has come around to bat twice for Georgia.
Ooh, good pickoff move. Got him.
Well, that's a way to get back into it. Baggett fires over to first. Forces the he picked him off. He picked him off over at first, and that'll do it. But Georgia once again scores 4 runs. It is now 8-0 Bulldogs. We're in the middle of the second inning here at Heathwood. Come on back and stay with us after this. Welcome back to Heathwood Hall, everybody. We go to the bottom of the second. South Carolina trailing 8-0 to Georgia here in the first of a 3-game series between the Gamecocks and Bulldogs. Brett Williams and Ben Parsons here with you. And this is cleanup hitter Ian Estes stepping in for the Gamecocks to face southpaw Josh Lee. The kick in the deal will end up on the lower outside corner for strike 1.
Just like he did last inning, Josh Lee starts off ahead in the count.
Estes slams this one foul hard. That one's heading all the way back toward the school here.
One thing's for sure is that the Gamecock hitters are going to have to be ready to take their cuts early.
And we've seen a number of very good foul balls hit by the Gamecocks. This one will miss low inside in the dirt, and I think that was a waste pitch from Lee. Estes didn't offer.
I'm really liking how Lee attacks the batters, though, so far in this game. I think he's gone ahead either 0-2 or 1-2 in all 4 at-bats so far.
That is 1 ball and 2 strikes right here. Kicking the deal here from Lee. This one's sent toward the hole and the right side, and this one will be thrown away. Mike Dolak slid to his right and tried to fire it back to a covering Josh Lee. Ended up just missing him high. And I think that'll be an E3, and the Gamecocks have their first runner aboard.
Definitely a stepping stone for the Gamecocks, at least one thing to go right for them so far in this game.
Really all you need is a break, and the Gamecocks will certainly take it as Evan McCurry, the right fielder, steps in.
Hopefully it's something that they'll be able to build some momentum on. Let's see right here.
McCurry batting .188 this year, no homers, 3 RBIs. Lefty-lefty matchup here. Lee sends that one high and in. Checked swing by McCurry. Nice job there. 1 ball and no strikes.
How did that ball not hit his bat? That was pretty close.
Somehow just missed. Probably more of that movement from Lee. Runner on first, 8-0 Georgia. Nobody out, bottom of the second. Foul ball off the fence right in front of the Georgia fans' left side. And obviously Josh Lee's coming out here and still attacking, as you said, Ben. It's interesting, though, as a pitcher, you like when your team is racking up the runs, but you're also kind of slowing down your rhythm, and your arms are going cold, essentially, for a really long time.
It's one of those things that it's a double-edged sword because you love getting the run support, and a pitcher will always say they love getting the run support as that ball's low and outside. But when you're sitting there as a pitcher, you want to get back in the game. You want to keep that rhythm like you were mentioning. So for him, I'm sure he's going to take the 8 runs, but he also wants to maintain that rhythm, and that's why he's been a little more wild this inning.
Next pitch comes outside.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner of this.
As once again McCurry is battling here, and the Gamecocks have a little bit of an advantage here in this at-bat.
Is that a 2-1 or 3-1 count? Or I could be wrong altogether.
I believe 3-1. Outside corner for strike 2, so yeah, this will be a full count here.
With that delayed strike call, McCurry was already ready to go to first base.
Yeah, very good hit and run count here. You would imagine tell the right fielder McCurry to swing away. Estes does not take off, and the pitch misses low and outside for ball 4. So the first 2 runners aboard here for the Gamecocks in the second.
Even right there, you saw McCurry hesitate because he held his bat like he was expecting it to maybe be a strike for no reason again.
Oh, good eye, though, not offering on that pitch that was certainly not inside the strike zone. Little AC/DC welcomes left fielder James Selikoff to the batter's box.
Great choice, I have to say, by the way.
Gotta love good walk-up songs.
Yeah, what are we going to do for our softball team, Brett?
That's a good question. You said, just for you folks at home, our crew here has developed the softball team, in fact, over a number of years, and all 4 of us here in the press box tonight, myself, Ben, John, and Spencer, will be playing on the Haynes Tagless softball team starting tomorrow in our final season for most of us. And we're trying to figure out walk-up songs for our season.
It's a very crucial thing to figure out.
It is, especially because we'll be the only team in the league doing it. Got to build your brand.
So people either love us or hate us.
Brad, I'm still waiting on your song selection.
You don't have to figure it out here on the air. Okay. 2 men on here, nobody out. Next pitch from Lee, inside corner for a strike.
Yep. Oh.
As once again, that very slow punch by the umpire.
I heard him yell strike.
Oh.
Go open the window.
Maybe.
Now our producer's just getting a little sassy with us right now.
It's not time.
Ball kind of drops high. It'll stay out of the zone. Gamecocks really doing a nice job here of not swinging at some obvious balls from Josh Lee.
I think that lack of rhythm is really having its way right now for Josh Lee. He can't find the strike zone.
Lee kicks and deals here. He will miss low once more.
3 balls?
Way ahead in the count, 3 balls and 1 strike to Selikoff.
If I was Selikoff right here, I'd sit on this pitch unless it's perfect.
Full count.
Oh,
Full count. Sorry about that, folks.
never mind. Don't listen to me, Selikoff.
Is that legal? No, it should be a balk.
Yeah, that's what I think that may have been a balk.
That should have been a balk.
Huh.
Maybe turn the wrong way. Hey.
Looks over at second. We're going to have another pickoff move.
Nope.
Checks again. He will come home. That one misses
Ball
low
4.
and in. 2 straight walks issued by Lee, and the Gamecocks have the bases loaded with nobody out.
I think this is exactly what you want for the Gamecocks right now, as they haven't had anything go their way, and that 1 error, and next thing you know, 2 walks. That's exactly what you would want for the Gamecocks in this inning.
So the whole infield's going to go ahead and get together here with Josh Lee. Trying to settle him down. Lee was dominant in the first inning as he retired the Gamecocks 3 up, 3 down, but now has allowed 3 straight runners on, 1 by error, so not his fault there, but then 2 straight walks for the center fielder Chris Murphy, who will come up now to try to do some damage for South Carolina. Murphy looking for his first hit of the season. He's 0 for 7.
Well, right now would be a great time to get one.
That it would. First pitch from Lee settles on the lower end of the zone for strike 1. Murphy, however, does have an RBI. He's actually walked 6 times, and so with the bases loaded, he can walk a run in if he, in fact, forces Lee to throw 4 balls.
There's no relation between the pitcher. Just
Want us to throw that in there, Spence?
no. There's no winning. Just want to make sure you know. There is Josh Lee.
Lee kicks and deals here. This one's going to be kind of knifed right toward first. Gamecock runner better get back in time. Did he get there in time? I don't think he did. A double play for Georgia. Great play by Mike Dolak as he slid back toward the base, caught it in the air, and tapped first before James Selikoff could get back.
I'm sorry, but what a boneheaded decision by the runner at first right there. That was just an infield pop fly, and he already took a lead like it was going to drop.
He really didn't need to have a secondary right there. He did kind of get stuck in no man's land. And now 2 outs just like that. And Nick Alfieras coming up to bat here for South Carolina.
And just like that, the rally takes a hit because you had, if he would have been on that base, it would have only been 1 out with the bases loaded. Now you got 2. Still a chance, still a good scoring opportunity for the Gamecocks, but it's just not. It could be not as damaging.
Alfiera swings and misses here as that one was on the outside corner. So Lee quickly ahead, and that certainly you can see the surge of confidence back in the Bulldog starters. He's working a lot more quickly right now. Just as I say that, takes a bit of a longer look in. Now kicks and deals. That one will miss low and miss outside off the plate.
It seems like he's bringing the heat a little more in this at bat.
Now the quick pitch comes. That was going to bounce away from Caleb Autry. That should bring a Gamecock run home, and it will. And as we said, that deep backstop will hurt the defense, so the Gamecocks get a break that they need, and they're now on the board, trailing 8-1.
Lots of unforced errors for both teams in this game that are coming.
Wild pitch. Sure.
Oh.
Any of that moved, right? I did not see it.
Okay. This one will miss inside corner.
Like I was trying to say earlier, lots of unforced errors and walks are definitely heating its way in this game for both teams.
Swing and a miss there on Alfiera, so Lee gets himself out of a bases loaded and no out jam, but he does allow 1 runner to score. Not a whole lot of damage for Georgia, though they are up 8-1. We are through 2 here at Heathwood. Come on back after this as we go to the 3rd between South Carolina and Georgia on the Capital City Sports Network. To the third inning we go. Georgia leading South Carolina 8-1 here. Brett Williams and Ben Parsons here with you. John Dowdy is our producer. John Manigo running camera for us up top. And Spencer Lee, another normal crew member, running public address here at Heathwood. Thanks for being with us here tonight as Baggett will plunk the leadoff hitter here in the third for Georgia, Greg Hennessy, in the 9 spot. And once again, Georgia has the leadoff man aboard for the third straight inning. Actually, I take that back. They did not in the first. The very first batter, Trey Walters, grounded out to second, but certainly has felt that way with so many runners going on base for Georgia tonight.
I'm starting to see why why Baggett's ERA is so high. So far, he hasn't been able to throw strikes. He did get that one out last inning, but that was off of a pickoff move.
So far, the 2 batters that Baggett has faced, he's walked one and hit the other one. This one just misses low. 1 ball and no strikes to the leadoff hitter, Trey Walters, who is 0 for 2 tonight. Again, that ground out to second as well as a fly out to center field, which both of those at-bats came in the first inning as 10 men came around for Georgia as part of a 4-run top of the first. Baggett comes set, working from the stretch, fires over to first. Another throw was on target and pretty close there, but couldn't quite pick off the runner, Hennessy.
Yeah, this is not a good sign for the Gamecocks as it's only the 3rd inning and it's already the 3rd time the lineup is going through for the Bulldogs.
That one just a bit low as well. 2 balls and no strikes on Walters. Give you the final line here for the starting pitcher for the Gamecocks, Richie Matone, as he pitched 1 2/3 innings, allowed 8 runs, 6 of those were earned. He struck out 2 and walked 6. 1 balk, 1 wild pitch, and allowed 4 hits, 1 of those for extra bases.
Definitely not the outing he was expecting tonight, but every pitcher has a bad game, and hopefully next time he'll get back on track.
Baggett misses well wide this time.
3-0?
I believe it is 3-0 on Walters here. Runner on first, 8-1, no outs here. Georgia ahead of the Gamecocks. Another pickoff here. Good block there by the first baseman. Ian Estes got down, grabbed it on the short hop, kept it from going between his legs.
I mean, the Gamecocks pitching staff in this game is just giving them the Bulldogs bases, and that is not what you like to see.
And speaking of giving bases, he gives another one here. This is a walk on 4 straight pitches. Walters on base for the first time tonight, and the second walk issued by Brandon Baggett.
I mean, I know it's St. Patrick's Day, but, it doesn't look like the pitching staff is even in the game right now.
Well, at least it was St. Patrick's Day yesterday, but it was basically St. Patrick's Day in Columbia today with St. Pat's and 5 points. So there were a lot more folks celebrating St. Patrick's Day today than I think they were yesterday.
And sadly, I didn't celebrate on either.
Well, you were certainly celebrating, and that was because the Gamecocks won the first round of March Madness last night, and you were there for it in Greenville. How was that?
That was phenomenal. Oh, my gosh. It was an electric atmosphere, Brett, and it was practically a home game for the Gamecocks.
Oh, sure.
I'm sure the next game against Duke won't be because Duke has a lot of fans, too, down there, but it was to see the Gamecocks play that well in the second half, and they had been struggling in the last 9 games. It was just great to see, and it was an absolutely amazing experience for me to just cover it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, 54 points in the second half, and at times this season it seemed like the Gamecocks would struggle to even get to 54. Certainly down the stretch, their offense was running into some trouble. And how about the way that just the mental resolve coming back? Their offense did struggle out of the gate last night, down 8-0 at one point, down 26-16 in the first half, and then just turned it on, and Marquette had no answer.
I mean, I think the key to that game was honestly Dwayne Notice. The Gamecocks live and breathe when Dwayne Notice does well. When Dwayne Notice scores over 10 points, I think the Gamecocks have only lost once this year. And Dwayne Notice, and there's another walk by Hennessy, by the way, but Dwayne Notice is like a streaky player. So when he's over 10 points, it's the Gamecocks are then able to open up the floor for Dozier and Senderis Thornwell.
Yeah, P.J. Dozier, I feel like, grew up a lot last night. I mean, particularly, he'd been struggling from the outside. Still didn't have a great touch last night, but boy, when he attacks the rim he is dominant, and you saw that last night, 21 points, really made a lot of clutch plays for the Gamecocks.
He was also passing the ball pretty well with 4 assists, but like you said, the Gamecocks got in a habit early in that game to shoot because Marquette can shoot the ball, and they can shoot the 3-ball better than anyone in the country. But once the Gamecocks got back to their game and attacked the basket, that's when you saw them start scoring because it opened up all these passing lanes and it opened up even wide open three-pointers that they later hit in the second half.
1-0 count on Mike Dolak here, who is 1 for 2. It's 2-0, excuse me. He is 1 for 2 tonight with a single and a flyout. I really think it's really going to come down. Obviously, the Gamecock defense has been phenomenal all season long. I expect the same thing against Duke tomorrow as they try to harass the Duke guards as another ball gets past Chris Bender.
9 runs, wild pitch.
That's going to be a wild pitch charge to Brandon Baggett as Georgia now leads at 9-1. Just going to be a matter of can the Gamecock offense continue to do what it did last night, particularly because Duke is not going to fold the way Marquette did down the stretch.
Duke has way too many options on the offensive side of the ball. They have Jason Tatum. They have Grayson Allen, who's been playing like the best sixth man of the year. I mean, that man is easily the most hated man in college basketball right now. But you can't deny that he has heart. And he came into their game yesterday, and he made his first 5 shots and had 12 points in like 5 minutes. So for the Gamecocks, it's going to come down to, is their defense going to be good enough to stop all Duke's weapons? Which our defense is, or the Gamecocks defense is one of the best defenses in the country. But like that's still a tall order because Duke has length and they have shooters, and that's tough. And as long as the Gamecocks can score some points as well, they'll have a shot.
I think the Gamecocks really need to take just a lot of confidence out of the game last night because I think that's the way they went into Rupp Arena to play Kentucky earlier this year in a game they certainly weren't favored to win, but at that time were doing very well in the SEC and played like it for the majority of that game. Eventually fell apart down the stretch, but they've got to go in there believing they can beat Duke tomorrow.
And Thornwell was really the Trojan horse in that game because I think PJ was out.
He was.
And so he carried that team. They were down like 16 or something like that early, and he had like 30 points by like halftime. It was or almost like that. So I mean, it was very cool because I went to Nashville too, and the Gamecocks had a poor performance in Nashville and lost in the first round to Alabama. And the locker room was so defeated, and you saw Sindarius Thornwell just like he thought the season was over right there because they lost a team they shouldn't have. But luckily the Gamecocks were put in or not luckily, they deserved to be in, but like they were put in the tournament and put in a chance to win. And the difference in the locker room atmospheres between the two games was just incredible. Like Frank Martin came in the locker room, and you just see the whole team starts cheering because they know how big this win was for Gamecocks and all their fans.
This one chopped through the left side. That'll be in for a base hit. Georgia brings another one home. Looking for a second. Coming up throwing is James Selikoff. It's cut off by the shortstop Max Bernstein. Lost for a moment, though, and eventually grabbed down the line by Chris Bender. 2 more runs for Georgia as the Bulldogs now lead at 11-1.
Oh. I mean, definitely not the way you want to start this ball game for the Gamecocks, but already being down 11-1, there's not a lot you can do, but hopefully Hennessy can find the strike zone. And the big thing for me is I think the Gamecocks have allowed at least maybe 10 walks at this point, and that's pretty much almost all their walks I think have scored.
That is indeed 10 walks, 4 by Baggett. And you're right, 7 of those have come around. 1 is still on base. This is Caleb Autry here. Autry, one of the ones that walked. Almost a checked swing hit out to right field. Evan McCurry grabs it, comes up firing, goes to third. There may be a play here. It will not as the throw's just a little bit offline. Nick Alfieras blocks it, but the runner advances. Dolak on third. 2 outs here in the third.
Wait.
Oh, they're saying he didn't tag up.
They're saying he didn't tag up?
They're saying he left early, and that will sit him down. So now 2 away here for the Gamecocks. Gamecocks defense has recorded 2 outs, I should say.
Big, absolutely big play for that's Baggett on the mound.
Now at this point, if I'm Baggett, I'm just trying to go out and just dominate Richard Mosley, throw some heat, try to paint the corners here. On a pickoff move, almost got him. Baggett's already nailed one of those guys tonight.
If Baggett could be as confident in his pitching stuff as he is in his pickoff move, I think he could have a decent chance to be a pretty solid pitcher. Oh.
And just like that, he hits Mosley. Second hit by pitch this inning.
Maybe not.
Runners on first and second now, 2 away as Brad Leathers comes back up. Leathers 2 for 2 tonight, a single to center and a double to left.
Yet another free base the Gamecocks have given up in this game. That's now 13 free bases with 2 hit by pitch and 11 walks or 10 walks? Oh, it might be 12 then.
Yeah, 10 walks and 2 hit by pitches. 11-1 here, Georgia in favor of South Carolina. Baggett kicks and deals. Just missed high and out. It was close to the zone.
Just a bit outside. Again, it's hard to get those calls when you've been pitching so wild and out of the strike zone. It's hard to get the close ones once you hit him.
That one's going to be a strike. Pretty much the same spot there.
I mean, to be fair, as an umpire...
Grounder to short here. Runner dodges it. Grabbed by Max Bernstein. He goes the short route to second. 6-4 on the put out to Joey Janouche, and that will do it. Georgia, however, still brings home 3 runs in this inning. They now lead it 11-1 over the Gamecocks. Bottom of the third coming at you when we return to Heathwood on the Capital City Sports Network. Nine 1-2 hitters due up here for the Gamecocks in the bottom of the third. Max Bernstein, Nick Burgos, and Chris Bender to face Josh Lee for Georgia. It is 11-1 Bulldogs here over the Gamecocks. Gamecocks playing their first game in 3 weeks after spring break. And the last time they went out, they were in Conway, South Carolina, battling the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. Obviously a very good varsity baseball program, the defending College World Series champions out there in Coastal, and the club team disposed of the Gamecocks 3-0 in that series. Gamecocks trying to bounce back tonight, and thus far it has not gone well for them.
Yeah, and yet another long break for Josh Lee on the mound. Let's see how he fares out in this inning.
This is low here. Lee again retired the Gamecocks in order in the first, then allowed the first 3 runners to get aboard in the second before forcing a double play. Wild pitch scored a run, and once again, Lee quickly hurrying up here, and he gets a strikeout back-to-back Ks issued by Lee. He has 3 overall on the day.
Now the Gamecocks will have their second time through the order. Hopefully they'll have better luck. Now they'll have facing Lee one time.
Here comes Nick Burgos. Burgos, a big lefty here for the Gamecocks, and what a pitch by Lee into the strike zone, working top to bottom. That was crazy.
That was beautiful. Can you teach me how to throw that one?
A lot of good mustard on that one. And Burgos lets that one go outside. Working from the windup, Lee looks in, now kicks and deals. Burgos will check his swing and let that one go high. Base is empty, 1 out. Bottom of the third, Gamecocks trailing Georgia 11-1. Burgos struck out his first time up looking on the outside corner. Now to wind the deal, that was going to hit him on the upper arm.
He was trying to spot that corner with the backdoor curveball, and it just hit him. That's one that Burgos just kind of turns her back to and says, I'll take one for the team to get on base. Because that curveball does not hurt nearly as much as a fastball.
Chris Bender steps up the party in the USA, trying to create a little bit of a party here at USC.
Because so far, it has not been that exciting of a ball game.
It has not if you're a Gamecock fan. 3 unassisted for the out was Bender's first time up as he fouls this one off right side. Bender comes in, he came into the night batting 360. Once again, that is a sound effect, not an actual car shattering. We are thankful for that. We certainly hope that that did not actually mask the sound of some actual window shattering, but we'll leave that to be figured out after the game. Again, coming into tonight, Bender, the second best hitter on the Gamecocks roster at batting 364. 1 triple, the only guy on the team to have a triple, and 4 RBIs, still no home runs, batting 8 for 22 overall.
And 4 RBIs leads the team so far with James Grant and James Selikoff, both with 4 as well.
Deal from Lee, chopped right back to the mound. Could be 2. Fires over to short. Austin Sanders there covering second. A quick bullet across the infield, and it is indeed a 1-6-3 double play.
He is not that fast.
Evidently not, and Georgia, every time that they get into trouble, they get out of it very quickly, and the Gamecocks are retired. No runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We are through 3 innings. Georgia leads South Carolina 11-1. Stay with us here from Heathwood Hall on the Capital City Sports Network. We move to the 4th inning. South Carolina down 11-1. Noah Sprinkle on the hill for the Gamecocks. And now to take you through painting the pictures for the next 3 innings, here is Ben Parsons.
Noah Sprinkle coming on the mound. This is his first outing so far on the mound since we don't have any stats on him yet. And he starts off with a strike.
A little heat on that first fastball from Sprinkle.
Noah Garcia at the dish for Georgia. That pitch just a little bit outside and low. So the count's 2-1 for Sprinkle.
And already Bender and Sprinkle going to have a little quick chat here, halfway between the home plate and the mound. Actually walks him all the way back to the mound.
Probably trying to settle some nerves. I mean, there shouldn't be that much of a nerve situation because he's down 10 runs. You can't really do that much more damage.
Sprinkle offensively this year, batting .143, has 1 hit and 7 at-bats. That was a double, and got 2 RBIs out of it.
Sprinkle's settling in and looks to start his windup. And he hits the inside corner. So the count's now evens up the count at 2-2.
That looks just like Josh Lee, except from the other way, as Lee's a southpaw and Sprinkle righty, but great movement there.
Oh, that ball hit to the shortstop, and it's going to be a tough play. Oh, just over the head of the first baseman. So they have their leadoff man on the plate. Oh, shoot. Wow. They have their leadoff man at first, yet again. That's now what, 3 out of 4 innings, Brett?
That is 3 out of 4, and I guess you got to give that an infield single as a tough play.
Yeah.
A little bit of a high throw, but nonetheless.
Great hustle showed by, was that Hennessy? No, it was Garcia. Now Hennessy settles into the dish. Already had 2 walks today, so he still hasn't had an at-bat, but he's been on base both times. Oh, whoops, never mind. That was Garcia, so he has had an at-bat. He got on an error and got hit by a pitch.
It has indeed been on base both times. You're right on that regard.
Actually, wait, technically that's still not an at-bat if it's an error. Is it an out if it's an error?
That's not an at-bat.
All right, well, the first pitch was fouled off, so it's 0-1. Sprinkle settles in. Ooh, just a bit outside. 1-1 count. Sprinkle looks to first. Taking a long time to the plate. Comes in and tries an off-speed pitch, but doesn't get that to come back door and hit the zone.
A long stride out toward the Georgia dugout third base side and kind of whipped his arm around on that pitch.
Yeah, exactly. A quicker release this time, but still not a good result as the count's now 3-1. Now in danger of walking another man on base the Gamecocks are so far in this game. Sprinkle delivers, and ball 4, just like that. The Bulldogs have 2 runners on base.
Walk number 11 issued by Gamecock pitching tonight.
I'm sorry, that's awful.
Sprinkle's leaving his shoulder open.
That's right. All right, let's see if Sprinkle can settle in. I mean, this is his first pitching appearance, or at least for club baseball. I'd assume he's pitched before.
Yeah, one would certainly imagine. But seems like he's not quite closing all the way around back on his shoulder. He keeps leaving it out too far as he's making that whip motion.
Yeah, he's not finishing his his release and movement. That one's just a bit inside, so ball 1 to start off the plate.
I was expecting that slow punch.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. So yet again, we're back on top. Trey Walters is now up for the 4th time in 4 innings, so and he has a 1-0 count. That one hit the zone, so it's now even up at 1-1. Sprinkle, that pitch looked like he actually finished his delivery.
But he did, and like we said, he's got good motion when he does it.
Mm-hmm. All right, about a pitch. Oh, that ball just fouled off, heading towards our Dowdy's car. No.
No. Actually, a big open space that way where a lot of the foul balls have gone. This field is on the left side of Heathwood Hall's campus, pretty distant between the actual classroom buildings and the gymnasium, which is closest to us on the right side. So a lot of gap there, and not a lot of cars are parked there tonight.
Thank God for that. It's now going to be a 2-2 count for Trey Walters at the plate. Sprinkle looks for the sign from Bender. And pauses and delivers. Oh, that was way outside, but good stop by Bender right there to limit the base runners from getting into scoring position, or both of them getting in this scoring position. Sprinkle looks in. Ooh. Ball hit up the middle in the gap. Ooh, good stop, but I don't think they're going to have a play at first on that one. So it'll be another infield single.
Yeah, that's a very nice job covering by Max Bernstein, working into the left hole there. And nice backhand stop to prevent the run from scoring, but couldn't do anything with it. That'd have been a heck of a backhand if he was able to pull it.
That would have been, indeed.
Major league, frankly. First base hit of the night for Walters.
Out of all the men on base, I think he's the only one that's gotten out 2 times so far. And he's their leadoff guy. All right, Sprinkle settles in, throws the first pitch for a strike. Starts off the count 0-1. Now that's exactly what you want to see from a relief pitcher.
Sanders having a brief chat with the umpire here.
Didn't like the call. Ooh, Sprinkle tries an off-speed pitch that just doesn't catch the zone, so it'll be 1-1 for Austin Sanders. Oh.
Sanders has walked all 3 times he's come up.
So I guess he has a good eye.
We'll go with that.
Oh, he gets some contact this time, right to second. Could be exactly what the Gamecocks want with the double play. Yes, it is. Now that still scores a run. It still scores a run, but with the bases loaded, and at this point in the game, that's exactly what you want from your pitcher.
The Gamecocks certainly needed that double play, and a nice job at that point. Again, you're down by 10. Let the run score. Just take care of your business. Get those 2 outs. Help your pitcher out.
So now it'll be 12-1, right?
It is.
But yet again, that leadoff runner comes back to haunt the Gamecocks, though. Sprinkle settles in, and Mike Dolak is at the dish. 1 for 3 so far today. Oh, nope, 2 for 3. My bad. And he hits it to second base for a ground out, and that'll end the inning. And 1 hit. Oh, shoot, wait. You do it real quick.
Yeah, it's 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base.
All right, it's okay. I get it. Never mind. I'll do it next time.
We'll be right back.
And we are back at Heathwood Hall. Ben Parsons alongside Brett Williams as Josh Lee is looking to maintain his good outing. What have you seen so far from Lee, Brett?
Josh Lee's just been very confident out there on the mound tonight. He trusts his stuff. He's been relaxed even when he's gotten into some jams. The guys have come around, talked to him, and he's taking care of his business, forcing a double play one time, picking up a couple of very critical strikeouts at other times.
As he already starts off the first at-bat of the inning with a strike, and that's what he's done very well today. Ooh, that will be a foul ball for Janish. So it's Janusz, sorry. Pardon me, I'm sorry for whoever watches this later.
Very close to hitting his fingers there. Not have ended well.
Lee settles in. Oh, never mind. As the batter had called time. As Janusz called time. The pitch is on. Oh my gosh. What a dirty off-speed pitch that just sits Janusz down.
Bottom dropped out for K number 4 of the night for Josh Lee.
And just like that, the Gamecocks have failed to get another runner on base to start an inning. Next up is Ian Estes, the first baseman, as that was a ball.
Estes the only leadoff man to get aboard for the Gamecocks tonight as he reached on an error in the second.
Good play by the first baseman as the ball was hit in that gap, but Dolak made a great play and Josh Lee covered in time to get the out. So 2 up, 2 down for the Gamecocks so far in this inning. And next up for the Gamecocks is Evan McCurry. He's been on base with a walk today so far. And yet again, Lee starts the count with a strike. 0-1. Sooner or later, the Gamecocks are going to have to get those bats off their shoulders, don't you think?
Absolutely. In fact, the Gamecocks have been unable to get any balls out of the infield tonight.
Lee tries another off-speed pitch, but just misses a little bit up high.
The balls that they've put in play, unassisted ground out to first, a 4-3 put out, a 1-6-3 double play, of course the 3-1 put out that we just saw, and a pop fly to first.
That ball caught the outside corner, so it's 1-2. Lee ahead in the count. The windup. Ooh. Just outside and gets a little bit away from the catcher, but that's not going to do anything as long as no one's on base. Evens the count at 2-2.
Evan McCurry's name very reminiscent to a name Gamecock baseball fans will recognize. Evan Marzilli, part of the 2010 and 2011 College World Series championship teams. He is currently in the Arizona Diamondbacks organization, I believe currently at AAA with them.
Is he really? Wow, I didn't know he made it to AAA.
Yep, he is still in the minors and still doing well.
Wow. All right, that ball was a little bit up high, so, all right. Lee sets him down. The Gamecocks go 1-2-3 in this inning. No outs, no runs, no runners left on base. We'll be back after this. And we're back at Heathwood Hall. Ben Parsons alongside, wow, I almost said John Dowdy. Sorry, Brett. Alongside Brett Williams, as Noah Sprinkle is looking to maintain that good start that he had in his first inning.
That's quite all right. John Dowdy, an integral part of this and every production we do. He's running production just to our right. You've already heard from him tonight if you've been with us for most of the time.
Ooh, just a little bit outside count, 0-1. I mean, 1-0. Noah Sprinkle he just needs to maintain his delivery, and he's been in good shape, but he's just a little bit off today. That one catches the corner. So it's 1-1. 1-1's the count, right?
A little two-seam fastball there from Sprinkle.
That is a great last name, I do have to say.
That it is.
Sprinkle settles in. Ooh, spots the ball well and gets, oh my gosh. Gets Casanova, another great last name, to swing.
There's a lot of those in this.
Oh my gosh, there are.
I still think Brad Leathers is the best. I mean, you just can't beat that as a baseball player.
Where did that miss? Oh no, he called it strike. All right, and he sets him down. Leathers gets not Leathers. Wow, all these names. No, and Sprinkle gets his first strikeout of the night, and only the Gamecocks, I think, third so far this game.
That is absolutely correct. As he sprinkles the strike zone, dare I say.
All right, now Autry will come up to the dish for the Bulldogs. Ooh, gets a little bit of contact on that, but that's going to head foul. So Sprinkle will be ahead of the count, 1-0. I mean, 0-1.
Of course, Autry wearing that 99. Of course, another famous 99, Wayne Gretzky. As we briefly mentioned the Edmonton Oilers earlier in this broadcast.
Ooh, gets contact, and I think that'll go foul again. So the count will be 0-2. Wayne Gretzky was the man, though, Brett.
That he was. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to ever argue that. Those Oilers don't drop the puck in their game against the Canucks until 10 o'clock Eastern. John Dowdy keeping a close eye on that game as the Oilers trying to get to the playoffs for the first time in over a decade.
I really hope they do it, to be honest.
I mean, why not? Honestly, and one of the options, they right now they're set up to play the Anaheim Ducks if the standings hold, but they could play the reigning Western Conference champion San Jose Sharks, and it would be kind of a contrast of styles.
That ball is grounded to third, just foul. Yeah, that would be a great matchup. Oh, my gosh.
I mean, certainly just put Connor McDavid out there on the ice and what is a team with growing weapons there in Edmonton against the Sharks. It would be a lot of fun.
And they're a team that has a lot of young guys, but also a lot of key older role players that they gained in both these last two off seasons.
Yeah, that was a big piece of that, getting Milan Lucic just to bring that team over the hump, and you can see what he's done already.
Pesky Milan Lucic. Sprinkle settles in. Ooh, ball three. I think the count's now full.
Of course, Dowdy's a walking encyclopedia on the Edmonton Oilers.
Does he know Yakupov?
No, Yakupov's not there anymore.
Oh, he actually knew that not Neil, but he knew that he. Excuse me, I was wrong. This last pitch was ball three, by the way. So now the count's full. Oh, ball hit up the middle. Bernstein gets. Oh, nope, and it just gets past Bernstein. Yet another error for the Gamecocks. It seems to be like the middle infield has had two now?
I believe two, yes. And that was a pretty tough play for Bernstein, I will say, in the sense that it short hopped right when it got to him. And it was a routine play for the shortstop, but it looked to me like that ball just took a little weird hop in a divot right there when it got right in front of him.
That's
and wasn't
the
able
worst.
to field it.
See, if I was doing the ebook, I might actually just not give him an error for that one. But
it's really not a better alternative, I don't think.
Yeah. Sprinkle settles in as Mosley comes to the dish. Mosley struck out, and he's got a hit. He's gotten out. No, he's got a hit. He's struck out, and he's gotten hit by a pitch. Sprinkle looks at first. Ooh, pickoff move, but definitely got in time that time. Sprinkle looks at first again. Delivers a ball out of the strike zone, a little low, I guess.
Just a bit.
So that's now 2-0 count. I got that right? Sprinkle looks to the plate. Oh, and throws another ball. I think it's time for Sprinkle just to relax. And, I mean, I know there was an error, but, like, he was pitching pretty well beforehand.
Yeah, honestly, Sprinkles looked pretty good tonight. He's obviously has come in a situation, as we've said a number of times, where there's not really a ton of pressure on him, but looked good, especially for the first time on the hill this season.
And I think his delivery is a little not a little perplexing, I'd say, as a hitter, because it's not your normal delivery as he got that strike. Sprinkle sets in. Ooh, ball 4. That'll now put runners on first and second with 1 out, and Brad Leathers, Brett's favorite name, is about to go at the plate.
Leathers has reached base 3 times, though the last time, in effect, did not, as he grounded into a fielder's choice that got him to first but ended the inning.
Let's see if Leathers can swing the bat right here and get on base. Sprinkle pitches it, and that's a little bit high.
Starting to hear a little more chatter from the fans here.
Mm-hmm. 5th. Oh. All right, Sprinkle settles in, throws a pitch to make the count. Oh, it's just a little bit low to make the count 2-0. Or did he get the first strike? I may be just off. So I think it's 2-1. Sprinkle sets in. Oh, throws it low and outside and just gets away from Brad Leather, and the runners advance to first and second. Not what you want as a pitcher.
It would be time to see if Sprinkle can just take care of his business here. Maybe even, do you consider letting Leathers get on to create that double play opportunity?
At this point of the game, I think you do, Brett, because you're already down 11 at this point. I mean, if you just let him on at here, then you have a double play and can get out of the inning. And he already proven he can do that last inning. And that's what they do. It's not an intentional walk, but he pitches just a little bit outside. Sprinkle obviously upset himself right now because he can't find the strike zone in the last 2 at-bats. But the bases are loaded, and now you got that double play ball, Brett.
Yep, put it in play. Never know what happens.
And now Chris Brender is coming out there. What do you think he's talking to him about, Brett?
I think he's just trying to say, at the end of the day, you want to force the ground ball. Trust your infielders. I know there have been a couple of errors tonight by the Gamecocks infield, but they've also made some pretty good plays. Again, that last one was a little bit of a misfortune on the short hop. So try to keep it down. Try to force them to, if they beat you through the hole, they beat you through the hole. But just don't give up anything big with the bases loaded here.
Exactly. All right, so Noe Garcia will be up at the plate, and it's now his 4th time so far today. He's been on base all 3 times, and Sprinkle settles in and throws it one down the middle that he hits to the outfield, and it is caught by the center fielder. But the runner's tagging up, and they will score. So it's now 13-1 Georgia.
Yeah, that was a good tag up there. We saw the one time earlier where one runner was called out for Georgia for leaving early.
I'd say Sprinkle will take that one. I mean, it's a 1 pitch, 1 out.
For sure. At this point, you take the outs when you can get them.
Limits the damage.
Right.
Sprinkle settles into Hennessy right now. Oh, and Hennessy gets a little bit on the plate. That ball is going towards an out. Oh, that ball is going out of play by. That ball was foul, as you can hear by Spencer's foul, the crashing, even though there's no cars in that direction where the ball went out.
I will say there's a lot of playable foul territory here at Heathwood. It was just such a big gap between the foul lines and the fence. A lot of room for the third baseman and the first baseman, respectively, to go out there and try to make a play on a foul ball.
Ooh, he tries an off-speed pitch that's just a little bit inside, so the count's going to be 1-1. But you're right, Brett. Right there it gave me trouble seeing if there was going to be a play by Alfieris right there, just because of how big the thing is. It reminds me of the Oakland A's stadium at the Coliseum.
True. Which I think all baseball fans will hope that they get a new one someday soon.
Yeah, hopefully. Noah Sprinkle gets that one past Hennessy and makes the count 1-2.
You know, another stadium I'd like to see updated is Tropicana Field in Tampa. I know there's been some issues, but I mean that you can't play baseball inside, and particularly in a facility like that.
And I mean, Tampa, the weather in Tampa is normally pretty good. And timeout called by Hennessy as Sprinkle was taking too long. But you're right about Tropicana. I mean, Tropicana was fun. I went there once with my grandpa, but it's getting outdated, and players don't like playing there anymore.
I can't imagine what it feels like to actually be a Ray and play there all the time. Try to do something like, obviously this, there's millions of dollars at stake here with something like this. But think about what the Marlins have done at Marlins Park, a great new facility, got their retractable roof that they're working on, and it's just it's what you need for a
ceramic thing out in center,
right? Whatever that is. And Marlins kind of going around in a circle.
Sprinkle settles in and a 2-2 count. Oh, throws it inside, so that'll be ball 3. Nearly hits Hennessy right there. Yeah, but they've been talking about making that stadium, making a new stadium for the last 5 years, and nothing's just come into fruition. Ball 4, and Hennessy draws the walk, so the bases will be loaded yet again, as we've said this a lot today. So the bases will be loaded for the Bulldogs as their leadoff hitter Trey Walters is about to come to the plate. Oh, actually, and on that note, the coach comes out, and I think we're gonna get a pitching change. So on that note, we'll take a break and come right back to you. What? Yeah, we're good. And we are back in the top of the 5th with 2 outs as James Grant is coming in for the Gamecocks. And I think we don't have any stats on him, so this is probably his first pitching appearance of the season, too.
The guy they call Big Tex, and a big presence on the mound, too, from the righty.
He looks in to Trey Walters. And that's strike one. That's what I like to see. Trey Walters has batted 1 for 3 so far with a walks, and he's scored 1 time. Just a little bit outside for Grant.
As we said before, this is Walters' 5th at-bat in as many innings.
Grant settles in. Oh, the ball is hit up the middle. Oh, nice hop. Did he get there in time? And yes, he did. That'll end the inning. 1 run, no hits, and 3 men left on base for the Bulldogs. We'll come back. We'll be right here after this break. And we are back at Heathwood Hall. Ben Parsons alongside Brett Williams as we are in the bottom of the 5th. And James Selikoff will lead off for the Gamecocks. Selikoff so far has walked in his only at-bat. Josh Lee's still on the mound. Ooh, he's a little bit outside, so Selikoff gets ahead to start this at-bat.
Almost to the 2-hour mark here in this game, and only at the halfway point. And Josh Lee still on the hill as we talk about that continued long gaps in between the times he's been out there.
That ball is just a little bit outside, apparently, as it didn't get the corner. Oh.
This is very low.
He pitches. Ooh. Gets that one past Selikoff, as that was a high fastball, but Selikoff took to it and just couldn't catch up to it. Evens the count at 2-2. Lee pitches. Gets the corner. Oh, never mind. I guess the count was. I guess the count is 2-2 now. Pardon me.
You hear him. You can hear him say strike.
Lee has actually retired 7 of the last 8 batters he's faced, but has still faced the minimum at that time as the one guy he hit, he forced it into a double play the very next batter he faced.
He delivers and strikes out Selikoff. Yet another strikeout for the Gamecocks so far in this game. Lee has just looked dominant so far.
That he has. Really doesn't seem like that extra rest has affected him at all. He just wants to go out here and keep this moving as quickly as possible, get the ball right back in the hands of its hitters.
Exactly, and it's working for him tonight. Chris Murphy is now at the dish for the Gamecocks. He had a pop. He had that pop up to first base that ended the rally, or that had a profound effect on the rally, because they doubled him. They doubled the first base runner, and gets ahead of the count. So it's 0-1. 1-1. Evens up the count. Pardon me. Josh Lee settles in. with that quick delivery, and that ball is just way outside. So it'll be 2-1 for Murphy. Josh Lee pitches. Yet again, he misses outside. He's having a little trouble in this at-bat, painting that outside corner. And the pitch. And that's a walk for the Gamecocks. Only their third walk so far in this game. But they'll take any base runner they can get at this point, right, Brett?
They will. That's just the trick of it, is just to try to build on it.
Mm-hmm.
And next two guys both struck out in their only time up.
Yeah, Nick Alfieris is now up for the Gamecocks. Alfieris with that bat swing we talked about earlier. Oh, that ball gets away from the catcher for a wild pitch, and the runner advances. So the Gamecocks have their first runner in scoring position today?
No, they did have the bases loaded back in the second.
You're right.
That double play hurt them.
I was second runner in scoring position because we did score that run too. Pardon me. Their first runner in scoring position in a while.
Right, that's true.
So the count will be 1-0. And Lee settles in. Actually, no. And gets it right past Alfieris. He had a good hack at the ball, but still couldn't catch up to it.
Still a lot of heat there coming from Lee, even as this night goes on.
Lee delivers. That ball is low again, but good pick this time by Autry. What have you liked from Lee today?
I just like this consistency, honestly. In a game like this, I don't mean to beat a dead horse here, but just when you're dealing with that and being, in the dugout for so long in between innings, and he's still coming out here. The Gamecocks have had a parade of pitchers on the mound, and Lee has just been Mr. Consistent tonight for the Bulldogs and continued to create problems for the South Carolina hitters.
As he misses right there in the zone. But he has been very consistent, like you said. And that's exactly what you want as a pitcher in a game that you're dominating from. As we're talking about consistency, he did walk. He has walked the last two batters, but so far in this game, he has looked really good.
Well, that's been his MO tonight, has been resilience, too. Again, after allowing those three runners on, forcing the double play, one run did score, but then a strikeout as well to end that inning, and then a string of folks retired.
As Autry has come out to the mound to talk to Lee about getting on the same page. Next up for the Gamecocks will be Max Bernstein, who, as Brett said earlier, struck out in his first at-bat, but he's looking to get the Gamecocks another run here. He has two ducks on the pond, as my old baseball coach would say.
A lot of ducks.
Quack, quack.
Lee delivers, and that ball is just a bit outside.
Oregon plays Rhode Island tomorrow in the second round.
That'll be a good game.
Everybody's been hyping up Rhode Island. I didn't realize till I didn't, and I'm not sure if I still am, despite a good win over Creighton. We'll see tomorrow. But Rhode Island is one of the hottest teams in the country, having won 9 in a row, and basically won.
The A10.
They won the A10, and that's pretty much how they got into the tournament in the first place. So we'll see.
With who is it? Allen Iverson's cousin on there, I think, too.
I haven't heard that, but that might be the case.
The count's now 3-0 as Lee has been struggling to hit the strike zone again in this at-bat. Well, yeah, Rhode Island, you're right, is a team that everybody's been talking about, and they got a lot of buzz. And next thing you know, they had a great performance in that first matchup.
Yeah, Creighton really didn't have an answer. Unfortunate story for Creighton having lost one of their great players. His name's escaping me right now, but earlier in the season.
Yeah, their point guard? One of their guards,
I believe so, yeah. I think it was their leading – yeah, he was their leading assister on the team at that point in time, tore his ACL, and really a very promising season for Creighton. Kind of went south from there.
Ooh. Big cut from Bernstein right there on what I think would have probably been ball 4.
I think so.
But it keeps the count alive, so it's a 3-2 count now. Lee looks at first and delivers, and Bernstein fouls the pitch off on another close pitch, but I think it probably would have been ball 2.
We take a look at a couple of other scores going on in March Madness. Actually, we will do that after the next payoff pitch.
Yeah. Lee delivers. There's some contact. That ball is dropped. And therefore, the ball's going all the way to the wall. So the Gamecocks are going to have 2 runs come in to score, and it's going to be a double. Oh, wait. Play at the plate, and he's out at the plate. Pardon me. That only 1 run. I counted my chickens before they hatched right there. Only 1 run for the Gamecocks, but the Gamecocks get another run at this point. So now it's going to be 13-2.
That was a very close play at the plate. A great throw center field from Hennessy, really right on target to Autry. It still looked from here, we couldn't really tell. The umpire was blocking our view. It looked like he was the runner was there on time. Evidently, that was not the case, but the Gamecocks do and certainly will take the run.
Next, the Gamecocks will go back up to the top of the order as they're about to go through the lineup the 3rd time. Nick Burgess is at the dish. Ball 1, as that ball's just a bit up high. Still a runner on second with 2 outs, 1 out, 1 out, 2 outs. My bad. Strike 1 as he blew that fastball right by Burgess.
Another team in the double-digit seeds that's been making waves this tournament, Xavier. How about beating up on Florida State tonight, 91-66, the final from Orlando.
Oh, my gosh. And people were talking about FSU, and were very highly on FSU.
Mm-hmm.
As they should have been, because they played very well in the ACC, which was probably the toughest conference so far this year. That ball is a strike, so that evens the count up at 2-2.
Might be the end for Lee if he can get out of this one right now.
Mm-hmm. Settles in. Ooh, and hits Burgess to give the Gamecocks 2 runners on base.
The second time he's hit Burgos tonight.
Uh-oh, what did he do?
You know, one thing is Lee was very upset with himself. He wanted to get that out. You could see him just slap his mitt after letting that one get away.
Next up will be catcher Chris Bender, who hasn't been able to get on base so far in this game. He's gotten out 2 times.
You know, Ben, I think this is going to be a critical at-bat in this game right now because, again, Bender, a very good hitter for the Gamecocks. You imagine this is the time he's trying to break out. He grounded into a double play his last time.
He's gotten contact, but just hasn't gotten solid contact, so maybe right here is a good part for that.
And, you know, Josh Lee, again, you know, his team showing faith in him. They want him to finish this inning. Let's see what happens.
As he hits it up the middle, but it's bobbled by the second baseman. Did he get him in time? Yes, he did. That'll end the inning as the Gamecocks do score 1 run on 1 hit, 2 walks, and leave 2 men on base. We'll pick things up in the top of the 6th after this. We are back at Heathwood Hall for the top of the sixth. Ben Parsons here alongside Brett Williams, and James Grant is looking to keep his momentum going on the mound.
Further conversation here between Austin Sanders and the home plate umpire. They were having a bit of a unkind word to one another, it appeared, during Sanders' last at-bat. And this time, before he even steps in, he's shaking his head, saying a few words. Now he's in. Umpire didn't look like he was too happy with that.
Grant settles in, throws it a little low for ball one. I don't think that's necessarily what you want to start an at-bat with and already be mad at the umpire, though.
For sure, especially in a game when you're up by 10.
Grant delivers, misses the outside corner, and the count will be 2-0.
11, excuse me, 13-2 the score.
Grant delivers, gets the strike call right there. That one was borderline, but he'll definitely take it. The count's now 2-1.
You got to wonder if the strike zone for Sanders is going to expand a little bit from this home plate umpire at this point.
I would think so. I mean, if I was umping, I would be a little annoyed. Oh, maybe not. The next pitch was just about in the same position, just a little bit higher, and it was called a ball. So counts 3-1. Sanders' fifth at bat of the ball game. Oh, gets contact on that, and that ball is
Through the left side.
Through the left side of the infield for a single. Sanders gets his first hit of the ball game. He's been on base now 4 times tonight, but 3 of those were walks. And next up will be Mike Dolak, the first baseman, who's been on base once today and has grounded out twice. Actually, he's been on base twice today and has also grounded out twice, so he's 2 for 4. Grant settles in, and the pitch is called a strike. Starts the count off 0-1. Exactly what you want right there. That pitch just a little bit outside to even up the count at 1-1.
Let's take a quick look around the conference here. Again, the Gamecocks playing in the Eastern Conference, the South Atlantic region of the National Collegiate Baseball Association, NCBA, the official club baseball sanctioning body. That conference is composed of the Gamecocks, the Bulldogs, Clemson, Coastal Carolina, UNC Charlotte, and Georgia Southern. Clemson on top right
That ball
now.
hit up the middle. Perfect double play opportunity. Bobbled by the shortstop, and they get the second out. Oh, no, they don't. The runner's safe at first. So the Gamecocks do get 1 out on the play.
Clemson on top, 6-0 in conference, actually 9-0 on the year overall. Again, Georgia and South Carolina tied at 5-4. Georgia 2-1 in conference play. South Carolina 3-3. Coastal Carolina also 3-3, 4-4 overall. Georgia Southern comes in at 1-2 in conference and 5-4 overall. UNC Charlotte is winless at 0-6.
Grant settles in, throws the ball to James Casanova, personally my favorite name on their team. And that ball's just a little bit low, so it's 1-0 for Casanova.
Pick your poison. There's some good ones.
Pickoff move right there by Grant to keep the runner honest at first base. Grant delivers, and that ball is creamed and to center field, and that ball hits the wall, and that'll be a stand-up double for Casanova. He misses a home run by just a little bit right there.
And I think, I'm not really sure, maybe just Dolak's speed or something right there, because that ball was deep enough. It appeared Dolak might have been able to turn there, but just was slowing down by the time he got to roughly the shortstop's position, so he just calmly stopped at third.
He had prematurely just decided he wasn't going to score, or wasn't going to try to score.
Yeah, that's very true in a position like this in the game.
All right. And it appears we have another another meeting at the pitcher's mound. What do you think they're talking about here?
Well, at this point, just trying to settle down Grant a little bit. He came out for the first time and got a huge out with the bases loaded in the 5th inning there, forced a ground out to shortstop, and now has come back in this inning and allowed a single, advance on a fielder's choice, and a double. So he's trying to get him back into the swing of things. It seems like Garrett Semick has been out there speaking to each of his pitchers at some point tonight. So
yeah, just trying to probably tell him not to leave one right over the plate like he just did.
Exactly. Yeah, Caleb Autry's had an interesting night as he steps in here. He struck out. It was kind of ended a little bit of momentum for Georgia in the first there with a big strikeout, then walked. He scored a couple of times. He flew out one time on a short at-bat, so it's been very hot and cold for him.
Yeah, the coach for the Georgia Bulldogs, he's been able to put good contact on it when he gets it, though, as that ball is just wow, that ball's way out. I mean, way up high. So 1-0 count for Autry. That ball is just low now from Grant as he's having trouble settling back in after that meeting at the pitcher's mound. He does have a base open if he chooses to walk and get the force out, because there's only one out in the inning. Oh, that ball is hit. I can't see to the right field, and it is dropped, and so that'll score 1 run for the Bulldogs. The score is now going to be 14-2. With runners on first and third, 1 out.
As a tough night continues here for South Carolina. It appeared to be a routine pop fly, and Evan McCurry just wasn't able to make the right play on the ball. And the inning continues.
You're right, Brett. Now it's just time for Grant to settle in and hopefully get out of this. Oh, that ball is fouled off by Mosley as Grant gets ahead in the count 0-1. Another foul ball from Mosley, so it's an 0-2 count. So right here is a good time for for Grant to just try and pitch it a little outside of the zone and get him to chase at this point, because Mosley's just looked like he's ready to swing.
Yeah, maybe try to even give him a fastball right there and make him swing at that. As a lot of times, Grant and some of these other Gamecock pitchers have been a bit off, so they may be expecting something like that if he hit him quick with it.
Well, he went low with the fast. I think that was a fastball. It could have been an off-speed pitch. We can't see from exactly our angle, but he went low, and it's for a waste pitch, and now the count's 1-2. Grant settles, delivers, and that ball is 2 inside. It'll even the count up at 2-2.
I might try to go inside. I'm going to try to go inside corner again here. Mosley playing a little bit further back off the plate than he did earlier in this game, but he got jammed doing that one time earlier.
He does throw that low and inside fastball. Gamecocks try to turn 2. They get 1. Get the second one in time. That'll end the inning and save a run from scoring. That'll be 1 run for the Georgia Bulldogs, 2 hits off of 1 error for the Gamecocks. We'll be back for the bottom of the 6th after this. And we're back in the bottom of the 6th inning as the Gamecocks are trying to start some runs. Ben Parsons here alongside Brett Williams. Josh Lee is still on the mound for the Georgia Bulldogs, and at the dish and Joey Janish is at the dish for the Gamecocks. Janouche. All right. He's 0-2. I mean, he's 0 for 2 so far today with a strikeout. Oh, gets some good contact on that one. Oh, never mind. It's a pop-up to second base for the first out. Janouche visibly upset after that one as he runs straight out of our view of sighting.
Once again, Josh Lee, another great start to an inning that he's played in, has not faced more than 6 batters in any inning tonight, and that was only once. In fact, in 3 of his previous 5 innings, he's faced the minimum 3 batters.
Ian Esty is now at the plate and is now down 0-1 after getting the ball blown past him by Josh Lee. At this point, as a batter, is there anything else that you try to do? Because when a pitcher just seems to be in the zone?
I think you got to go up there, and to a certain extent, I think the Gamecocks have done a decent job of this, but you got to be patient. You can't go up there and try to overswing, try to just hit home run balls all the time. They've done a decent job in working some walks a few times when they've gotten an opportunity.
As you're saying that, he just had a great eye on 2 very close pitches, so now it counts 2-1. Oh, gets contact on that. It's a slow ground ball to third base. To shortstop. Will he outrun it? Nope, he is called out at first. So the Gamecocks' first 2 are 2 up, 2 down. And it looks to be another quick start to the inning for Josh Lee.
Well, Austin Sanders has really had quite a night for Georgia with 3 walks, a single there in that last inning, a pretty authoritative single, no less, and then that's a great defensive play. He tried to throw across his body, go into his right to field it, and then fired back across.
All right, that'll bring up Evan McCurry for the Gamecocks. As that a nasty curveball for strike 1 is thrown by Josh Lee. McCurry has been 0 for 1 today with a walk. Fast delivery and just a little bit low and outside, so the count's even up at 1-1. McCurry takes a step outside of the box to gather his thoughts, I guess. Tries that backdoor curveball again and just misses. Counts now 2-1. Josh Lee delivers. Oh, the ball's inside again. Counts now 3-1.
Hitters count here for McCurry. I wouldn't mind him swinging away in this situation unless it's something that is clearly outside or outside the strike zone any capacity.
That ball is fouled off. So that it's now a full count for Josh Lee, and it's the payoff pitch. So now you just got to protect the plate as a batter. Lee settles down, delivers, and gets it past McCurry to end the inning. That'll be 3 up, 3 down for the Gamecocks. No runs, no errors, no runners left on base. And when we pick things back off, Brett Williams will now take you through the 7th through 9th. We'll be right back after this.
Welcome back to Heathwood Hall, everybody. We are in the top of the 7th. Brett Williams and Ben Parsons here with you. Thanks for being with us on the Capital City Sports Network. Georgia leading South Carolina 14-2. It's been all Bulldogs since the start here. The Bulldogs have scored in every inning. They scored 4 runs in each of the first 2. They scored 3 in the third, and then 1 run in each of the last 3 innings. Coming up here in the 7th spot, Brad Leathers. Leathers is 1 for 1 officially. Also has a couple of walks. I'm looking at the wrong number there. He is actually 2 for 3 overall, with also a walk in this game. James Grant on the hill for the Gamecocks. He's faced 6 batters, gotten 3 of them out, only allowed 1 run. Again, this is Grant's first time on the hill this season. Forces this one right center. Will it drop in the gap on the hop? Hustling over. Chris Murphy lays out for it. Did he make the catch? I don't think he did. And it will be right fielder Evan McCurry backing him up, fires it into second. But a base hit here for Leathers. That's his 3rd of the night.
Yeah, and just like that, they have yet another leadoff runner on base.
So here comes Noe Garcia. Garcia, the one with 2 walks as well as 1 single and a sacrifice fly to center. I take that back, as Garcia is officially substituted out here. A pinch hitter for Georgia. It's going to be number 4, Cameron Hines.
Good to get an at-bat in.
Yeah, certainly in this game, I would be surprised to see some of the same players really continue at this point across the board.
Yeah, for both teams, it'd be nice to get more at-bats, to get their subs more ready.
Again, these 2 teams will meet up tomorrow at noon for a 7-inning doubleheader. That's pretty much traditional for club baseball series. You'll play Saturday and Sunday. One of those days will be a single 9-inning game, and the others will be a doubleheader of 7-inning affairs the other day.
Well, let's hope that it goes a lot quicker than this game for them tomorrow.
For sure, that could be a long day. Gamecocks pitching is going to have to kind of reset tonight. Figure out the next move coming in tomorrow, as Georgia hitting has been all over them. And, of course, we'll find out as well what Georgia's rest of their rotation looks like, as it's really been all Josh Lee all night, and he has fooled all the Gamecock hitters.
I would assume for the Gamecocks, you'll have Gulabon starting one of those games, and then you'll have Mark Evans starting the other game. But what do I know?
No, I think that's very true. Aaron Gulabon, a very sturdy pitcher for the Gamecocks so far this season, as James Grant gets a big strike out of Hines.
Yeah, sturdy indeed. He has pitched 15 innings so far, only allowed 6 earned runs. So in club baseball, that's very good. His ERA is 3.6.
That's not bad at all, as Grant misses this one high and outside. Good job by Bender getting up there and hanging on to it. Greg Hennessy back in here for Georgia. Great throw from center field to nab a Gamecock runner at the plate an inning ago. This one grounded to second, hustling over Joey Janusz. He will not have a play to second, instead goes to first. 4-3 for the put-out and out number 2.
Joey Janusz has had some very funny reactions today. After his last at-bat, he ran all the way and almost hopped the fence over in foul territory. And then after that, after he bobbled the play, he just smacked his glove and looked disgusted up in the air.
Another substitution here for Georgia. Trey Walters' day is done, and William Patrick comes to the plate. First at bat. Puts it in play, base hit, right field. Runner going to try to score here from second. The throw from McCurry is close, but no cigar. And blocked off by Bender about a foot in front of the plate. A 13-run lead for Georgia. It's 15-2.
Talk about a good first at bat. I always thought that was hard coming in as a pinch hitter growing up playing baseball, or in high school when you weren't starting and then next thing you know they throw you in the game.
For sure. Yeah, it's just one of those situations where you obviously you watch the pitcher, you try to figure out what's going on throughout the course of the game, and then just come in there and trust what you've been working on. But it's a high-pressure situation. Wasn't in this case tonight, but often is. We'll go ahead and step aside for just a minute with this next meeting at the mound. Stay with us here on the CCSN right after this. New pitcher on the hill for the Gamecocks is number 20, Brandon Herfelt, another one of the first-time pitchers this season for South Carolina. He's batted .250 on the season. Third time tonight, Gamecock taking the hill for the first time in this game number 10 on the year.
In a way, it's a valuable experience, though, to get these guys chances on the mound that don't usually get to go.
You never know when you're going to need them.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Sanders at the dish right now for Georgia. 3 walks, also a base hit, and has grounded into a double play tonight. Sanders now has had 6 at-bats in 7 innings. Trey Walters would have had the same honor tonight, except they subbed him out for William Patrick. This one misses low, blocked by Bender, so no advancement from Patrick over at first.
Definitely not an honor that you'd like to see, though, if you're a Gamecock fan or player.
For sure. I can't say I've ever seen this at any level. 2 outs here in the 7th. It is 15-2 Georgia over South Carolina. Runner on first, and that is William Patrick with the RBI single, as Georgia has once again scored in every single inning this game. That one inside corner.
Nope.
Thought that might be a forward punch, but that hasn't been the way the umpire's been doing things, so that's going to be a ball. Evidently just missed inside. The kick in the deal here. That one's inside corner, and that was a forward punch from the umpire.
His arm's getting tired. Maybe he has to try something new.
I mean, evidently.
He's been standing out there for a while, though, to his credit.
True. Next pitch here, that's inside corner again, but that was just a little bit inside. A little bit more movement on that, but still had a pretty good spot. Sanders, though, 4 walks tonight. I don't think, I mean, obviously, the golden sombrero, 4 strikeouts. Is there such a thing to have 4 walks? Is there a name for that?
I have no idea.
Arizona goes through over St. Mary's.
Oh.
St. Mary's game control.
Well, Arizona has just gone through against St. Mary's in their second-round matchup, so they will be advancing to the Sweet 16. That team has a chance to be deadly. They have a lot of weapons.
I have them winning in my bracket, and what's very interesting, there you go, so Spencer and I thinking alike, that's that Northern Virginia coming out at us, but Arizona, honestly, if you look at the places they place, they had their first 2 games in Salt Lake City, they're in the West region, so then they go to San Jose, and if they can get to the Final Four, they have it in their own backyard in Glendale. So you really can't beat that.
And they're always a team that plays well in the tournament, no matter how they ended their season.
Trying to break through, haven't been in the Final Four in some time, and I know that's exactly what head coach Sean Miller and his crew are trying to pull off this year.
Now, on a sad note for our technical producer, John Dowdy, his team is getting spanked right now, UVA by Florida. It is 54-28 with 8:24 left for the game.
Another walk issued here by Herfelt. His second straight walk. So now the base is loaded with 2 outs still here in the top of the 7th.
And just like that, they had a 2-out rally, and we're just giving it to them at this point.
Another pinch hitter. Casanova's day is done.
23, Tristan Stoffel. Very small kid.
A little bit different than Casanova. Sound effect, however, is no different.
We're shooting like ass.
Rip, 1 hop to short, and a little short route to second. 6-4 on the putout, and a very nice job done by Max Bernstein at short. 7th inning stretch time, so go ahead and get your popcorn and peanuts and whatever else you're going to snack on here with us late at night for the Gamecocks. We'll be right back after this. back in black. The Gamecocks trying to be back in garnet and black here in the 7th. They're running into a lot of trouble here tonight, though, against Georgia as they trail 15-2 going into the back half after the stretch. This is James Selikoff stepping in. He is 0 for 1 officially tonight with a strikeout in the 5th and a walk in the 2nd.
What a smooth intro right there.
And trying to assist still Josh Lee on the mound for Georgia. And Lee, just the indomitable pitcher. Again, this game has gone on now 2.5 hours and just over 2/3 of the way home. Lee is still pitching, has still forced the Gamecocks to go 3 up, 3 down in 4 of his previous 6 innings, and he retires the first Gamecock here with a strikeout, his 8th K of the day.
And this is exactly what you want for Georgia in the first game of a 3-game set, especially where you're playing a doubleheader tomorrow, as that your starter's eating up at least 7 innings of the ball game right now, or six plus to be exact.
Certainly has not been the case on the Gamecock side of things. The Gamecocks have already sent out 5 pitchers to the hill tonight.
But on the same level, they've also set out 3 guys who've never pitched, so they're trying to save their bullpen as well.
Well put there. This is Chris Murphy here. Murphy 0 for 1. Walked and scored his last time up. The indomitable battery tonight, Josh Lee and Caleb Autry. And certainly Coach Autry, player Coach Autry, whatever you want to call him, he's going to be very pleased with the effort of his squad tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike here now on Murphy. 15-2 Georgia, base is empty. And 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. 2 balls and 1 strike now. And that one misses high and outside, 3-1.
We don't have a pitch counter, but I'm wondering how high his pitch counter would be right now.
That's a good point. And I really do want that clock on how long each of the half innings have taken and he's sat down.
Yeah.
Because certainly he has been on the bench for far longer than he's been out on the mound. It's just an interesting ratio. And then he's going to issue a walk here, though. That's his 5th walk of the night. That'll bring up Nick Alfieras. 1 strikeout and 1 walk tonight. Ball 1 here now on Alfieras. Lee comes set, working from the stretch with the runner on first. A little bit of downward movement on that. Ends up just a bit high, though.
I think it's very cool that their coach is also their catcher, because him being the coach of the team, he knows all the pitchers and knows what they want to do and how they look, and obviously he can go out and talk to them and know how to fix these situations.
Yeah, as for the Gamecocks, I believe Miles Moody, their head coach, he's a pitcher, and don't believe he's actually seen any time at the plate this year. Garrett Semick, however, the other coach, he has batted a little bit. Back-to-back walks issued now by Josh Lee, and actually this is, anytime Lee has walked someone tonight, he's walked another one. They've all come in pairs. And it's the 2nd time Murphy and Alfieras have been that pair.
But then he snaps right out of it each time so far.
Oh, and popped up right side, maybe playable, and it is not. Everybody kind of ducked at the last minute.
Yeah, the Gamecock bench got a little scared there right there, because that ball was hit almost near their circle.
Nick Burgos is in the on-deck circle. We were told earlier that it appeared that James Konopinski would come in and pinch hit for him. Maybe that's not the case. That one is fouled off once again, right side, and above our heads to the right. And actually, just like that, it looks like Konopinski is taking Burgos' place in the on-deck circle.
Good at bat, though, so far by the Gamecock batter.
Yeah, as Max Bernstein.
definitely making the pitcher work and getting good contact on pitches that are in the zone.
More good movement there from Lee. That one looked like it was going to be way outside, and it dropped in, came close to the zone. Still clearly a ball, but close. Still a little bullpen activity going on for Georgia.
They've been losing some guys for 3 innings now.
Yep, that's just been a recurring occurrence here, but still haven't had anybody come out of the pen yet. Looking over to second, now Lee comes home. Bernstein goes up the ladder, swings and misses, and he is retired by strikeout as well. So just as you said, Ben, Lee snaps out of it, and now he's got 2 outs. Strikeout number 9.
Pivotal at bat for the Gamecocks right here, as they have not done too well with runners on base in this ball game.
Bridge over troubled water, ice in my muddy water.
That one misses way high and outside, but Autry is up and snags it. Konopinski comes in with the he has a .222 average. He has the only long ball in the Gamecock has hit out of the park this year. Also has a double. Those are his only 2 hits. He's 2 for 9 overall.
Now would be a great time for one of those 2 things to happen, though.
Why not? Coming set now, checking second. Lee, or a double check, now comes home. Curveball ends up way high.
Is that the pitching coach?
One of Georgia's coaches having a quick conversation with Josh Lee. Now hustles right back to the dugout.
At this point, maybe he told him to walk him. At this point, maybe he told him to walk him.
Could been. Load up the bases for Bender, who has really struggled tonight despite being a good hitter overall in the season. And Konopinski is showing bunt right now.
He's going to pull back.
He does pull back and takes a strike.
That's just something you try to do to get the pitcher out of his comfort zone and throw another ball.
Misses just outside. Konopinski takes his base.
The Gamecocks now the bases loaded for the 2nd time today.
And what do you know?
Wow.
Our fellow SGTV colleague Patrick DeMar coming up to bat in this great situation here with the bases loaded in the 7th.
My main man Patrick at the dish. Bases loaded. Let's see what he can do.
Well, here we go. Lefty-lefty matchup, so advantage Josh Lee, but the first pitch breaks outside. DeMar comes in, batting 100 on the year. He's 1 for 10. Checks the swing there.
Yep, ball.
That's ball.
2-0. Patrick also does a little PA for the tennis at our school, too.
Man of many talents. Check out his content, youtube.com/SGTV at USC. That has all of our content. A lot of good stuff there for you, and Patrick's really come into his own in that regard, particularly with our Talk of the Town special, hammered with questions. And how about this? He's going to force a run to come home with a run.
Way to go, Patrick.
How about that?
Gets an RBI on the season.
And might this be the end of the night for Josh Lee? An epic night for him.
We're the 3 best friends that anybody could have. We're the 3 best friends that anyone could have. We're the 3
And indeed, the ball is taken away from Lee. So a phenomenal night for the Georgia starter, but he cannot complete it. We will tell you all about the first relief pitcher of the night for the Bulldogs when we return right to Heathwood after this. New pitcher on the hill for Georgia is number 6, Andy Bainton. We'll get you the final numbers on Josh Lee as soon as they become official. As Joey Janu stepping in for the Gamecocks, he is 0 for 3. And sends this one in left. Will it hang up? And it will. With a left fielder, Trey Walters. Actually, that's not Trey Walters, as Walters was substituted out. William Patrick in there at left field makes the catch on the line drive. And that is going to be your ball game, a mercy rule situation here, as Georgia defeats South Carolina by a final score of 15-3 in a final in 7 innings. We are going to take a very short break. When we come back, we'll have your post-game show. We'll wrap this one up and preview games 2 and 3, the doubleheader tomorrow between the Gamecocks and Bulldogs, right after this on the Capital City Sports Network. Well, welcome back to Heathwood Hall, everybody. Brett Williams and Ben Parsons here with you for your post-game show. South Carolina opened up its series against Georgia tonight, and it did not go well for the host Gamecocks. Georgia comes out with a win, 15-3, a final in 7 innings that was shortened due to the mercy rule. Georgia scores 15 runs on 11 hits with 2 errors, 11 men left on base. South Carolina 3 runs on just 1 hit, 2 errors, and 6 men left on base. And really tonight, Ben, the story offensively for the Gamecocks was inability to beat Josh Lee, who came this close to completing the game. He went 6 2/3, allowed 3 runs, just 1 hit. 2 of those runs were earned, and struck out 9. He did walk 8, but 4 of those came in the 7th inning, just when he was starting to run out of gas.
Yeah, he was phenomenal tonight. He was lights out for most of the game, and when he did get in trouble, other than in that last inning, he got out of it. He snapped back out of it most of the time, and that's what you want for your starter if you're Georgia. But for the Gamecocks in the rest of this series, they're going to be able to get the bat off of their shoulders, and they weren't able to do that at all tonight with only 1 hit. And then for their starting pitching, their pitching in general needs to hit the strike zone, because I don't remember the exact number, but we had a ton of walks tonight.
Yeah, the walks tonight, see if we can get a final total on that. It was got 6 from the starter, Richie Matone, and then another 4, that's 10, another 4 coming out of that, 14, 16 walks. So, yeah, you're not going to be able to be very efficient defensively when you're doing that.
Yeah, with all those runners on base, and plus we hit a few batters, so we just gave like 18 of their 18 free bases, and that's not what you want from your starting pitching. So in the rest of the series, they're going to have to, and I think they're going to have a good chance with that, as I said earlier, as Gulabon and Evans are probably going to start tomorrow.
Yeah, certainly, and, just kind of try to forget this night, essentially, and just move on. It's a night where things really were not working for the Gamecocks, and a couple of times, too, again, some short hops in the field. At the end there, a great hit by Janusz, and it just hung up just too far for the left fielder to come in, and he ended up grabbing that, so that ended the game there. But South Carolina, again, the loss goes to Richie Matone, who ended up only going an inning and 2/3 and gave up 8 runs. So Georgia moves up to now 3-1 in conference play. They improved to 6-4 overall in the season. The Gamecocks fall to 5-5 and 3-4. Gamecocks did sweep UNC Charlotte earlier in February, then ended up being swept by Coastal Carolina. They lose here tonight. What's going to be the biggest key, do you think, tomorrow to try to get one against Georgia?
Forget that this night happened is number 1, and number 2 for me is you have to be able to hit the ball, and because I think in this game we clearly did not. But the Gamecocks will need good outings from their starting pitching, and so far this year, both their projected starters tomorrow have done just that. So as long as they can do that and make the opposing pitcher work, I think they have a shot.
Well, I certainly wish them well tomorrow. Wish the Gamecock basketball teams well tomorrow in the second round for both of them, the men's and the women's. You will be back in Greenville covering the Carolina Duke game.
Yep, I'm very excited for that game. It's going to be a heck of an atmosphere, and hopefully the Gamecocks can prevail. It's going to be a tough one, but it's going to be very fun.
Yeah, it should be great to see what the Gamecocks have against a great program like that. Gamecocks will be back here against Georgia for the 7-inning doubleheader tomorrow at noon. We most likely will have folks there for that broadcast, so you can tune into that as soon as we are able to upload that after the fact. Then hopefully we will be here next weekend as the Gamecocks play host to the Maryland Terrapins as well in another 3-game series with 1 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. A lot of club sports coming up in the near future with some men's lacrosse, some women's lacrosse. We did another men's lacrosse broadcast a couple nights ago, so stay tuned to the CCSN for all of your South Carolina club sports live action, and of course, tune in to, again, youtube.com/SGTV at USC to see all of the great content that everybody at our station produces. Speaking of those great people at our station, I want to thank John Dowdy once again, our producer for tonight, John Manigo for running camera up top, and Spencer Lee, our de facto crew member tonight. He has been involved in a number of other broadcasts, but running the public address system tonight and providing a great atmosphere for the fans here. Ben, enjoyed working with you tonight. Looking forward to the next time.
Exactly. I can't wait.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Once again, your final score here tonight from Heathwood, the Georgia Bulldogs 15 and your South Carolina Gamecocks 3. So for Ben Parsons saying good night from Columbia, I'm Brett Williams. Carolina, forever to thee.